This session, we can cover whatever you want. I think in your sales process is like what you're looking at, you wanted help on.
Yeah, I think we were going to break down just the framework of the sales call based on what I've taken from the document you
Mhm.
have in your training.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I doing? What can
Yeah.
we do better?
So let's go off the 40% that you didn't close.
They have to think about it. So yeah, the objections are kind of seem to say yes, and then they go away. And then I'm not closing them after. I don't get too many like husband objections or like somebody else needs to make a decision
Hmm.
objection. I think they are not sure that they're ready to buy a rental property, which means that I haven't said to them they don't need to know that yet necessarily.
So I just like to get clear now when I work on people's sales process on firstly, what are the objections that you're hypothesizing or you're mind reading, and what are the objections they're actually saying? Are they saying, I have to think about it? I'm not sure if I'm ready to buy rental property, or is that a mind read of yours?
That's
Or
a mind read.
let's go off what they've actually said, like, because that's going to give us more accurate information.
Give me a
But
second.
it could be a mind read, but maybe it was based on something they said earlier in the call that caused you to think that.
I think I have a hard time closing people that are like 65 plus.
Yeah, that would be more
Actually,
like a targeting issue.
yeah, that could be. So maybe I'm like not overly pushing them because,
There's probably just some work you need to do on your ICP around, like, the age, but we'll keep on to the objections inside the call.
yeah,
Let's
like if
just,
I am a qualified person, I'd say the last few, like my Deborah Peterson, she used the excuse of the husband, but I feel like that was quite a while ago. And I feel like now if I was doing it, I would probably have handled it. Because you said to like ask the questions. So like, do you actually want to buy a rental property? I feel like I sometimes maybe wasn't actually qualifying. Is that what are they trying to
so
achieve?
let's keep it simple. What are
Yeah.
the objections that you're getting on calls that anything aside from yes, what are the specific sentences they're saying?
I haven't had too many no's. So who didn't I close with from the promo calls? Okay, so if I go back to February when we first started, I should have closed her. So Angela, she totally used I'm just not sure yet. I'm going to be talking to other coaches. I'm not sure what I'm trying to do. I'm just like kind of picking your brain as to what I should do. She's inheriting some money from her father. She has
Hmm.
kids, she has a husband. She
Hmm.
needed my coaching
Hmm.
and I let her off the phone.
Cool. So I'm not sure yet. I'm talking to other coaches. I'm not sure what I want to
Yeah.
do. Give me some others.
Heidi, I should have closed her. I should go back to her recording. She said she just needed to think about it. Like I just didn't close her. She liked the program. But again, I would be hypothesizing on why she didn't say yes. But I can usually tell from the conversations, like,
Well, the objection, Tracy, is the reason why they didn't say yes. So whatever they said before they, like after you gave the price, that's the objection.
just say they need to think about it.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know maybe what the objection is.
Cool. And
Can
then
I
what
do that?
else? Is there another one that will give us a good understanding on if it's a pattern?
This Solmaz I would have closed, but I think like they were definitely qualified. I think I just didn't build trust and rapport with them. And I think
What was her name?
Solmaz Yari. I had a husband and a wife.
The husband was the one you were selling to. The wife was on the call with him. Is
The
that correct?
wife was the one I was selling to. He
Okay.
was just almost like humoring the call, I think.
So the wife was on the call and then the husband was on there too, and you were kind of selling to them. And what was the objection?
Yes.
Why what they gave you when they left the call?
They just
To
had to think about it.
I need to think about it. Okay, so you're getting Solmaz is I need to think about it. Heidi is I need to think about it. Angela's I'm not sure yet. It's important that you understand the science behind the objections you're getting. So these are smokescreen objections because the real root objection hasn't been found. Now, the reason why you get smokescreen objections is because you don't have or you're not using a structure after they give you the price to find the real objection. So the single thing that is going to be the most important thing for you to do to solve this is this script. And like within 9 minutes, I've already found out what the problem is. This is why like I'm so good at closing because I'm good at finding the objection. Like I'm good at finding problems. So when you are in the closing call, you just really want to understand like whenever they give you that that smoke screen or that objection after the price drop, you just really want to let it go over your head as if you haven't even heard it. So a lot of people freak out and they get like, oh my god, like what do? I need to just sure, I don't want to be a pushy salesperson. Just let it go over your head and just go straight into this in your sales process. Like expect objections after the the price drops, because usually people have an instinctive protection mechanism that they want to put time in the way of making a decision. So what you want to do is just understand, like, they're just going down to this part of their brain, which is called amygdala hijacking. So it's just like their amygdala, which is the survival part of their brain, is just trying to protect them. So what happens with amygdala hijacking, it's the same thing as when a mother sees her kid run in front of a car. Like, you forget everything and you just go. That's what's happening when they're putting objections up. Once you have to see the price, it's the sticker shock, and they run. Just like with a partner, when they're really angry, the thing to do is to not react. Okay. Be very calm, very cool. And you just understand it's just a matter of being there for another 2 to 3 minutes while they come out of the amygdala. That's all it is. Okay. Because the amygdala hijacking wears off after 2 to 3 minutes. So what we want to do is walk through something that can bring them back to their logical part of their brain, the neocortex, where they can make logical decisions. Because while they're in the amygdala, if you push on that, they'll go deeper into the amygdala and they'll go more into that. So what you want to do is actually the opposite, bring them back into the logical part of their brain. Does that much make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So this is the science of, like, this kind of thing. So you just respond like this. Absolutely. I'm just reading from the script. I understand what you mean. Thinking about it aside, like, how do you feel about, and listen to like the tonality and the relaxation. How do you feel about this process specifically? We covered 4 big components, whatever your 4 components are, you would fill them in on how we help them get to whatever the solution is. Do you feel like these 4 things, thinking about it aside, pricing aside, so you just do that, move it aside, like, get that out of the way. You feel like these are what you need to really achieve solution? They're going to tell you yes, they're going to say no, they're going to say maybe, I'm not sure, or they're going to double down and say, I just need to think about it. You're like, it's okay. Like, you're absolutely okay to think about it. Today's not about anything except for giving you all the information so I can send you away with the right information. Take the pressure off of the close and the decision and make it about them getting all the information, because, as you know, when someone has all the information, they buy.
Right.
Okay. So you say, theoretically, let's pretend like thinking about it is out of the equation. Do you feel like this process is what you need to get whatever your outcome or solution is? And they're going to say, oh yeah, maybe. You just follow up with this on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I need to get away from this person. 10 being, I absolutely think this is what I need. How certain are you this is what you need to whatever the solution is? And they're going to tell you. So Tracy, what they're going to say is, they're going to say, oh, I'm a 6. If they say I'm a 6, then you've got something. If they say, oh yeah, I'm an 8, you've got something. If they say I'm a 9, you've got something. If they say, yeah, I'm a 10, you've got something. Okay. So anything, if they say I'm a 10 out of 10 and they're certain in their tonality, then you're good. It's just the pricing. You need to understand like what it means when people say certain things. It's just the pricing. But if they're doubtful or they're below a 10, then it's certainty on the product.
Okay.
And that they'll get the results. So you just need to have your brain work in that 2-dimensional way. If you can get your brain to work in that 2-dimensional way, you'll be very calm on the call, because you'll read below the surface value of what they're presenting in terms of whatever they're doing, right? So you say, cool. Now, thinking about it aside, let me just go into this isolated objection side of thing. So it's kind of like, if they're below a 10 or they're uncertain out of 10, you want to isolate the objections. You'd be like, I get that. Like, what's kind of preventing you from, really being a 10 out of 10 on this? Is it kind of like, oh, actually, what you could do is like, yeah, what is preventing you from being a 10? What else is there? What's brewing under the surface for you? Just having an honest conversation. What's brewing under the surface? Like, what's on your mind? Like, what are you thinking about right now? Like, what's causing you to kind of pull back a bit? What's causing you to not feel like you could be safe going all in? Like, these are the kind of words and phrases that I use, because in the end, there's just something that's happening inside their mind that's preventing them from proceeding. There's just a problem that we haven't gotten in the open. And if you send them away, you're the only access to the solution to that problem. Their life doesn't have access to it. And the thing is, that problem more often is the reason they need to buy the program. Have a light little question there, like, open the kind of space a bit. You can strategize then, you can, get them out and list. You're like, okay, cool. Like, and maybe we can't solve all this, but maybe we could. say you're not sure about the program. Okay, what do you feel like you need to have in there, to make you feel like you could get results? Strategize. Try and get them to a 10. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But if you say like, cool, thinking about it aside, anything else keeping you from being 100% certain this is what you need to get your solution. So you're teasing it apart. You're opening it up. It's like you're unraveling a knot, like in knotted headphones or something like that. You're just unraveling it. And then you say, cool. So when you think about it, you're 100% in. Okay. Because that gets them to be like, okay, cool. Now make sure you have them empty out before you kind of begin strategies with this kind of step. Then you can run them through what's called the 3 Ps. So the 3 Ps are just a really good kind of script that I use constantly on getting all the rubble out of the road. I mean, we're leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, right? So it's definitely something that can make a big difference. So the 3 Ps are the person, so the company, the closer, and the prospect. They're the 3 kind of entities that are involved. Okay. So it should be called like the 2 Ps and the E, right? The entities, the person, the product, and the price. Okay. Or the person, the process, and the price. So you start with this script. There are 3 Ps that should be there at a 10 out of 10 to even consider proceeding with something, making it the right fit. And it's probably on me that you're not sure of that yet. So I take responsibility for that. The first is the person, because you want to take, Tracy, all the pressure off the prospect. And if you can take all of that off them, then you'll be able to make progress. Specifically, the company, where are you sitting on a scale of 1 to 10 in confidence? Like, 1 being not confident at all, 10 being totally confident, comfortable with the company, that we've got the social proof, the success in the past, similar people as yourself, that we could do the same with you. Okay, that's the first thing. If they're not a 10, walk through case studies, social proof, wins. That's it. Yep. Close with, we've done this for X amount of years. We've served this many clients. Can you see that we know what we're doing? If we applied this to you, is there anything preventing you being a 10? Or are we there? The only reason they wouldn't say a 10 is self-belief issues, okay, which we're going to cover. But you can understand once you've gone through this, perfect. Then it's a closer. So then just share your experience running the company. You're the founder, so you probably like have a lot of leverage. Share your personal use of the service, like share your hero's journey, share your own case study. That's how you get them convinced. So on the closer, based on our discussion so far, do you feel like I've got a clear understanding of the problems in your business and you have your best interest at heart? So less than a 10 on the closer is just they don't believe you, they don't trust you. So like what you just said before, you just feel like you didn't build up the rapport. This is where we solve that problem.
Yep.
This is actually more often than not, this post-price reveal objection handling script is because of things that you missed during the closing process before the price, but it does happen. So that's that. Past failed investments, that can be like tainting their ability. They want to put time in the way. Maybe they've tried other things. So you can use this. And if they're at a less than 10, you just go out of, you just need to separate yourself from the past solutions. Review any guarantees. If you have them, you don't need them. But if you have them, you say, based on that, are you now a 10? Okay. Then it's their belief, which honestly is the hardest probably one. It takes a bit of wizardry, getting rid of someone's self-belief issues. So where are you out of 1 and 10 in confidence that if you follow the process laid out, you generate whatever the solution is? Okay. Just be congruent with what you're saying they'll achieve and that you're confident you can execute on those. And if they're less than a 10, you just say this: what thoughts or beliefs come up that prevent that from being a 10? You can't say, what do you believe about like yourself? It's not going to work. You need to say, what are your thoughts or beliefs that come up that prevent you being a 10? Let's surface those now so they don't become barriers in delivery. So you get the limiting beliefs out in a list. You just keep asking them why. When they have nothing left and they say, that's it, you said, if you didn't have those beliefs, would you be a 10? Because then they know it's not you. Yeah. It's just their beliefs.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got it all on the table. There's nothing. So it's just, this is called looping. But if you've got it dialed in this beliefs, you say, what do you need to believe instead of, and then go through all the beliefs. You can give them examples. I can't be successful. I will make this successful with the right guide. What if it doesn't work? I will follow the process and make it work. Like all those things. You say, if you did this with all those beliefs and, whatever amount of time the program runs for, you've made back your investment, how would that feel? So you're changing their focus. Limiting beliefs make people focus on unwanted outcomes. So when you have them focus on the beliefs they actually need and them getting the solution they want, then focusing on the feelings, then they're going to change their decisions. What would that version of you tell you to do now? It's going to tell you to do it. So they're going to say, they would tell me to do this. Now, this, Tracy, is incredibly powerful. This has turned around a lot of closing conversations because you're not telling them what they should do. Their future self is telling them. So this is when it changes from external salesperson pressure to internal pressure that is created inside of the prospect. And that's a self-initiated decision. That's one that will stick. They tell you to do it, right? But we should only partner if everything's lining up. Anything else we need to cover to make sure it's lining up? Boom. Then there's just the product.
Yeah. Yeah. I can already see.
Cool. Go through the product, run through the offer doc. Sometimes people need a couple of steps, a couple of run throughs. I mean, make sure they know how it works. And then it's the price. Only once you've done the above should you talk about the price again. So that's it. Make sure that they're at a 10. You just do a little recap on the 3Ps that you've already covered. It just helps bring it all together. Get them to do an internal check, anything we should cover before moving forward. Okay, then price. Talking about budget, because the thing is people may like neg on things they've said in the conversation. You're sitting there, you're like, wait, you said like this before. Why is this like changed now? It's like you're in a basketball court and you're painting them in the corner. So you need to paint constantly, paint, less moves that people can make, paint, and then boom, we've secured it. So that's it. We've explored an option that fits your finance. Anything else would be left to cover. The rest is just objection handling playbook. So this is like, your other objection you're getting, right? And it's just got a lot of those goodies. They're good to like just whip out whenever you hear them, you think they're coming up. Once you've done the 3Ps, if they're still not completely sold, just tell metaphors until they completely just come around. Metaphors, oak tree. Look, I get this, maybe some doubt. You want to think about it. Think about it like it's planting an oak tree. When's the best time to plant it? And they're going to say now. You say 20 years ago, but we can't get time back. But the next best time is now. Swimming pool metaphor. Everyone's afraid of jumping in the pool. When's the best time to jump? Depreciating assets, investing in growth. You can spend money on anything, but you don't get the money back unless it's on something that makes you money. ROI. If you can get an ROI, it makes sense to do it. Investment as a signal to the market. You doing this means you could help people, if that's it. If they've been burned, right? How to see being burnt in an empowering way. If you have resources just sitting in the bank as opposed to money working for you. So you just tell metaphors and then they're eventually going to say, yeah, you're right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's it. When you go through metaphors and objection handling, okay, and 3Ps, this is the last final word, is it shouldn't be pushing, combative, and like, humiliating. It really should be about as if you were a teacher teaching a child that maybe is like lost as to what they need to do about something in their life. Maybe they're wanting to learn how to tie their shoelaces, or, they're wanting to learn how to play soccer. That's how you want to do objection handling and metaphors. It's called explaining away objections. In summary, when they give you an objection and they give you the price, be excited because now the closing has begun.
I can try this.
Yeah, now you can try this, right? So I think that's good. The only other thing is like, yeah, just stick to what you're doing, stick to what's working and don't change too many things in this closing call. I would just tweak that.
Yeah, I do feel in reviewing your question component. Do they want to buy a rental property? It's so stupid because it seems like that's so obvious, but I don't know that I'm necessarily like finding that out all the time. And that makes it very different, like why they want to buy. I actually don't ask that question, which is sort of silly. Like
if you can't close them on the call, just make sure you get the objection.
Yeah, get the objection. I'm not even getting the objection, actually. I'm
so
really
if
not.
you can't get a revenue from a call, make sure you get value on how to make your ability to close in the future. Then that is by getting the objection, because then you can go and refine and role play with yourself. If you get that, how will you overcome it? Because if you don't do that, it's just going to be the repeating.
Yeah, I think as you said it, like setting up for this call, and I knew it was going to be this like objections. I'm like, shit, do I really even know?
Right.
Like I actually don't know.
Yeah, there we go. Was this valuable for you? Like you feel like you can use some of this stuff?
Yes. Are you able to share our little recording of it?
Yeah.
I need to listen to it again. I mean, I do like every nugget and I'm doing really well this week. Like I've closed 4 people and I just had another close. We have our date in the calendar and we have her on WhatsApp and she's just calling me with her credit card. So
we've recently implemented something in the pre-booking questionnaire and email flow that to stop them from being in the car and being in a crazy environment.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna kick ass here. I'm gonna get to my 85% close rate. Yeah, I'm just gonna like keep kicking butt. My next class on the 9th and it's gonna go hard till Croatia.
Yeah, that's it. That's good. And then have a great holiday. Like you deserve it. Working hard. Yeah, so yeah, enjoy the next couple months. You definitely deserve to have like the life that you want. And yeah, I'm happy that I got to jump on today to give you some value.
Thank you. Yeah, for
You're
sure.
welcome.
And I'll go through all the stuff with Juliet tomorrow, and then I'll let you guys know my results just to
Yeah, keep us
celebrate.
updated. Let us know how you're
Yeah,
converting over the next couple months in your masterclass. It'd be great to keep in touch.
I will.
Cool.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
Philip.
All right. See you, Tracy. Have a good one. Make it
Thank
good.
you.
Bye.